Welcome to How We Met. I'm Sheryl Strich, and every month I get to interview two couples who tell their story about how they met. First couple up today are Carol and Leon St. Clair. They're both on the board of the California Club. Leon's the technical chair, and Carol is publicity chair. They enjoy dancing with the rock and rollers, boomers, and the New York Club, and previously both Carol and Leon were on the board of rock and rollers and boomers. Currently, Carol is a resident advisor to the CAC. She likes to walk, quilt, and participates in book clubs. She's also researching her and Leon's ancestry. Leon participates in lawn bowling, pickleball, and enjoys doing various garage projects like refinishing furniture and bicycles. Good to know. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming on. You know, I always ask three questions. So we'll start with the first one. Where are you from?
I'm from originally from upstate New York, and I moved to Virginia in 1956.
Where in upstate New York?
The city was Scotia.
Oh, Scotia, okay.
And Scotia is where the headquarters for General Electric was, and that's where my father worked, and they moved the whole department to Virginia. So
Okay.
that's how I ended up in Virginia. I was there 40 years. So.
In Southern Virginia?
Roanoke, Virginia.
Oh, Roanoke, okay. Carol, how about
I'm a
you?
native Californian.
Oh.
I was born in Vallejo and then was raised in Sacramento.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting story.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you guys been a couple?
Since 1967, so I think that would be 58 years.
58 years. And
Yeah.
how long have you been in Laguna Woods?
Since 2007, so that would be 18 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we met in 1966, by the way.
Yeah, we did meet in 66.
Let me ask my question.
Okay.
So, how'd you meet?
Well,
In 1967?
Yeah, in 66 we met. Leon was an airman at Castle Air Force Base in Merced, and I was a telephone operator in Sacramento. And I just had my first week of vacation, and my best friend worked on her husband was in the Air Force, and she worked on the base, and she said, well, come down and visit.
Wait, I'm sorry. You were, where were you?
Sacramento.
And you were?
Merced.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
both in California, okay.
Yes, and so I went down to visit her, and she fixed me up with Leon the first night, and so we hit it off, you know. And then the good thing was when he didn't have any money because it was payday a few days. So she
Military pay was extremely low. It was like $60 a month or something like that. It was like just incredible.
And it was the end of the month, so you could
Yeah,
already...
so she said, well, you know, Carol's on a diet, you don't have to worry about it. So he put whatever money he had, you know, $1 or something to get gas, and we just drove around and talked, and we just really hit it off.
How nice. And
Yeah.
how long, you were there for a weekend or just for the night?
I went for the weekend,
Okay.
and then he would come up to Sacramento and stay at my parents', and we would see each other every weekend.
Oh.
And after a few months, we realized this was serious.
So, hold on a second. So how soon after that weekend, how soon did you call Carol?
Well, we kind of kept in touch. I suspect it was by phone, but not.
I mean, right away, did you get in touch with each
Oh,
other?
yeah, right away,
it was- we vowed to meet up the next weekend. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Great. So you just talked that first
The
weekend?
first week, we were together the first full week, and then after that, he would come up to Sacramento and spend the weekend, and then, or I would come down and stay with my friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, and then you were in California.
Uh-huh.
And then, okay, so let's move on. So then how soon did you get engaged?
Just after a few months. And then he talked me into moving to Virginia because it was so beautiful.
And that's where you're from?
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. And so he went out to Virginia to find a job, and then I came out there after the first of the year,
Okay.
the following year, and then we got married in February.
In Virginia?
In Virginia.
Oh,
yeah.
so your parents had to do everything in Virginia.
Yeah, well, my parents weren't able to come out, but I was very homesick. I was in love. I didn't realize how far I was from my parents,
Right.
but it all worked out. So.
And were you able to stay with the phone company?
I did. I transferred, yeah,
Okay.
and then eventually worked my way up into management positions, and so they were very good to me.
And what about you? You were in the you were finished with your military service.
Yeah, so I was a prize because it was during the draft thing when everybody's number was coming up and I was getting out of service. So
Okay.
I don't know, I'm pretty sure it wasn't that reason she married me. But
Well, you were a prize because you didn't have to be
yeah, I
drafted.
didn't have to worry about being drafted.
Finished your military
going
service.
off to Vietnam or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
But I forgot the question you asked.
You went to
me.
work at the telephone company.
Well, when I got home, of course, I had to figure out some sort of employment, so I went to the phone company, since Carol worked there, maybe, and her father said he would put a word in for me, and also because he worked at the phone company. And then I went to the interview office, and I happened to know the person who was in charge of interview, and he was my Boy Scout master from when I was a kid, or younger.
So you were set.
I was set.
Yeah, he knew
Had all the
somebody.
connections. So then I got hired right away, and I went to work as a lineman.
So is this AT&T?
It was in all under the AT&T umbrella. Yeah.
Yeah, it was called Bell Atlantic.
Bell Atlantic,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
No, actually, it was
C&P.
Chesapeake and Potomac.
Yeah.
This is
Goes
a
way
side.
back.
This is
Yeah.
something side. When I was a kid in junior high, and the New York World's Fair was there, and the Bell Telephone had a booth, and I couldn't believe it. They had touch button phones.
Oh, yeah.
It's like unbelievable. I couldn't believe that.
And I remember when they had picture phones,
Oh,
we were
yeah.
like, oh, how could we ever do that?
That was also in the booth. Like,
Yeah,
that was.
who would have thought?
Who would have thought that? You know. Wow, that was really. So you worked your way up to upper level management.
Yes. Well, I was in sales.
Oh, you were in
so I was
sales.
an account executive at AT&T, and then I was also a systems engineer at Verizon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And do you have kids?
We have one son,
son.
lives in Aliso Viejo.
Oh, nice. Is
Yeah.
that why you're here?
Yes. Yeah, that's what brought us out here.
Okay. So was it a hard move from Virginia to here?
It was tough. We have all of our belongings, and we had to put everything up for sale. And we had a little small travel trailer, so we drove out in the travel trailer, and we lived in it while we went through escrow. And our granddaughter had just been born. That was the draw that
Right,
brought us out
right,
here.
right.
And so she was born, so we could see her. And then we moved into Laguna Woods in end of January, 1st of February the following year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
The funny thing is, when we moved out here, we had an estate sale, so we sold probably $50,000 worth of stuff for $10,000.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we sold everything. Yeah.
That paid for the move.
That was the estate sale in Virginia.
Yeah.
Right. And did you move from a bigger place to a
Yes,
smaller place?
definitely
Right.
a large house.
Right.
And then moved into a 2-bedroom
Right.
condo. Yeah.
Right.
Even though it was much larger, it didn't cover the cost of being here in
No,
California.
no, still-
Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah.
But it's worth being here.
Yes, definitely, for sure.
I mean, how much did you dance in Virginia?
Well, we how much what? How,
Did you dance?
Yeah.
How much
oh,
dancing was
very
there?
little because we didn't have a big social life there, and so we just we had a few friends,
Right.
but a lot of them weren't dancers
Right.
or partiers
Right.
for the most part.
Right.
So when we moved here, our whole social life opened
changed, yeah.
up.
Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it's so
is.
wonderful.
There was
Yeah.
some dancing. I mean, back when nightclubs were more popular, back in the 70s and 60s, there was nightclubs that
Discos,
had
yeah.
disco dancing and,
Yeah, we did that.
Okay.
rock and roll places, but then it kind of faded away in the 90s,
That's right.
I think. And
Well, and here's another question, Leon. How much pickleball did you play in Virginia?
I don't think it was even available anywhere that I'm aware of.
Or lawn bowling?
Yeah,
No, didn't know anything about that either.
Right. It's fabulous what kind of
Oh, I know.
what's available for us
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I learned how to play mahjong.
Oh, did
Yeah, but it's been
I
great.
didn't pick up surfing while I'm here yet. So,
There's still time.
no.
So, how old is your granddaughter now?
She's 18.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so I've got a grandson that's 16. So
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, but we were so glad we moved here because we've been such a part of their life, especially when they were younger.
Right.
We would take them camping, and we would spend the weekend, take them places on the weekends, and have family get-togethers. So
I had a place in the garden center, so I'd bring them over there and teach them how to pick beans and what kind of bugs were in there eating my plants, and, and tomatoes and corn. And
Did you go to any soccer games?
we went to all their, they
yes,
played
yes.
soccer and
Right.
Little League baseball and volleyball and things like that.
Tag football.
Yeah, went to all the games.
Isn't that fabulous?
I know.
I have one in Oceanside who's only 17 months, and I'm planning to do these things
Oh,
with
Right.
him
yeah.
once he's moving.
And they grow up. I mean, just yesterday, they were little, and now they're teenagers.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, I say the same thing about my own children. Just yesterday he was a baby, now he's 43.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, when did that happen?
That's true.
And I haven't gotten any older.
I know.
I know.
So I understand that you're both on the board of the California Club.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So what's going on there?
Well, we have really upgraded our club. We're trying to do more things and appeal to a variety of people. So we have some people that like a more formal atmosphere the way they used to be, and we have some that would like to have a little bit more current music.
Right.
But we continue to be a dinner and dance group. So we have a sit-down dinner,
Right.
and we have complimentary wine with dinner, and then after that we usually have a show, and then we have dancing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. The biggest variety, I think, like this month, we're having kind of a nightclub act.
This is in March. Bear in mind,
Yeah.
this is
It'd be-
March.
well,
We're
yeah,
filming in
well,
March.
so-
So there's probably going to be, by
Last
the time this
month.
airs, it's
well,
like-
in April, it'll be an Eagles tribute.
Fleetwood Mac, actually,
Fleetwood
in April,
Mac.
for a dinner dance. Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac,
And then
sorry.
we're having and then we're having an Eagles tribute in May.
at dinner dance or
And
at the
that will
PAC?
be
It's just
an
it's
extra.
Okay, so that's at the PAC.
Yeah. No, well, that's
Nice.
going to be at the Clubhouse 5.
Oh, Clubhouse 5.
Yeah,
Okay, but that's
and-
an extra event.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then in September, we have our California Dreaming, which last year was a great success. It was the first time, and we have a band that will play California music from artists like the
Right.
Beach Boys and Fleetwood Mac and that sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
and it's outdoors at
I
Clubhouse
missed it
2.
last year, but I'm definitely going to go this year
Yeah,
because
it's a
I
lot
was
of
really,
fun.
when I heard how great it was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like really upset that I had missed it. So
Well, we
definitely
missed,
I'm
we
getting-
missed you for sure.
Thank you. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else up in the pipeline that?
Well, we're having in June we're having a group that the person who was the lead singer was in Glee. Remember the television show Glee?
yeah.
And so that band is going to perform, and
Is that an extra?
no, that's a regular
that's a
monthly
regular
dinner
dinner
dance.
Yeah, it's a regular dance.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that, and I can't
Yeah.
remember what we've got going on beyond.
We got a 4-pack of, or actually 2-packs. We're going to do something different. So we're going to group 2-pack shows, and there'll be 2-packs.
Nice, nice.
And it'll be our Legend series. So the first 2 are a Motown Review tribute, and then the second one will be a Prince Again, which is a great
Yeah.
impersonator of Prince.
Yeah.
And then we'll have the Doobie Doubles, which is Doobie Brothers in the spring, and 3 Queens of Motown. That's 3 women and an orchestra going through the Aretha Franklin, Diana Ross, and what's the third one?
I can't remember.
You know what?
Yeah.
You've given us enough time. Anybody
Yeah.
watching this can really have time to buy tickets
Yes,
for these things.
they can
So
go to
this
our
is-
website. We
yes.
have a really good website.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much for
All right,
coming on.
thank
I know
you.
you're off to
Fun.
La Quinta, so
Yes.
have a good, drive carefully.
Thank you.
I'm really glad to have talked to you.
All right,
Thank
thank
you. You too.
Next up are the Fishgoes, Carol and Bob. Up until very recently, Carol's been a regular pickleball player. Yay, pickleball! And Bob uses the Clubhouse One Fitness Center. They're both members of the Chicago Club and the Wine Lovers Club. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm really glad we could finally figure this out.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, I told you before, but I always ask 3 questions. And the first question is not hard. It's, where are you from?
Now,
No, before.
Okay,
Where'd you come from?
there you go.
go ahead, you
We're
start.
from New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, born and bred for 80 years. We lived in New Jersey.
Where in New Jersey?
all over northern New Jersey. Originated from
I'm from New Jersey, so you can mention
I am
cities.
Hoboken,
Okay.
Bayonne.
Okay.
Then moved to Verona.
Okay.
Then moved to Princeton area.
Okay.
Then moved to Somerset.
Oh, Somerset. Okay.
Yeah.
And what
yeah.
about you, Bob?
I was born and raised in Bayonne.
Okay.
We got married and lived in North Bergen for a short period of time,
Okay.
where I was teaching high school,
Okay.
and Carol also taught high school there. And then we raised our family in Verona,
Okay.
spent 28 years there, and then moved to Princeton, 9 years, and then spent 13 years in Somerset at an over 55 community.
Oh, I didn't know there was one there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. My sister lived in
Yeah,
Somerset.
and
Yeah.
Somerset's right outside of New Brunswick,
Right. Right.
the home of Rutgers.
Right. Where my brother-in-law was a
Right.
professor. Okay.
And I taught community college in Edison, New
Okay.
Jersey,
Okay.
for 36 years.
Good. Nice. My next question is tough. How long have you been a couple?
We met in February of 1960. So
Okay.
we've been together for 65 years.
Nine. Okay.
And
And the last question is, how long have you lived in Laguna Woods?
5 years permanently,
Okay.
but before that, we were snowbirds for 5 years
From New Jersey?
from New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
We used to come out every January and stay until April. And then during the pandemic, I said to Carol, you know, I'm so tired of closing up the house and shutting off water and draining pipes. I said, you know, we got to decide East Coast or West Coast.
Right.
And the weather's so great out here
Right. Right.
that the West Coast won out.
So were you able to sell during the pandemic?
Yes.
Yes.
I guess it
Sold
was
the
very
house in
easy.
2 days.
Very
Yeah.
easily.
Very
Yeah.
easily.
Right.
Sold it in 2 days. There was a bidding war on the house, and
Yeah.
I got more than I was asking for.
Isn't that
Yeah.
great?
Yeah.
It all worked out nicely.
Right. And then you moved here, and at that
Yeah.
time, it was easy to buy a place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo.
Well, it was not easy because nobody was showing anything.
Oh, that's right.
The realtors were all shut down, but we did find a place, and
Renovated it.
it was in really bad condition. It hadn't been touched since it was built in the 70s, and it had been vacant for 10 years.
Oh.
The parents had died, 2 sons owned it, and they just kept it, and they didn't rent it, they didn't do anything with it, paid the maintenance on it.
And at that time, the maintenance was not that big.
Right,
No.
and so we got a good price for it, and we renovated it. We took it all down to the studs,
Right. Right.
put in all new plumbing, all new electrical, and moved walls around.
Don't we all do that?
Right,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so we're in a 3rd floor garden villa 3-bedroom unit.
Nice. Okay, let's get to business. How'd you
Yes.
meet?
That's a funny thing because you reminded me. I thought I met him at a dance. Then he reminded me, no, that we had met. A very funny story that we met once before. You want to tell that story because you like that story.
I had been going to school in New York. I was going to Pace University, which is Pace College then, now it's a university. And after 2.5 years, I said, there's no way I'm going to spend the rest of my life as an accountant putting numbers in little boxes. So I transferred schools to Trenton State College, which was primarily a teacher's college
Yes.
at the time, and majored in business education. And when I got down there, I used to go to the student union after class, and as a transfer student, trying to meet people is not easy.
Right, right.
And so I was sitting having coffee and cigarette with some folks.
We're
And
sorority sisters.
one of them was a sorority sister.
Yeah.
And she comes walking over and asks, she had a cigarette, asked for a light. So I pulled my
I
pulled my Zippo lighter out and I lit it. And I'm standing there holding the lighter lit, and she's talking away, and I said, what the hell do you think? I'm the Statue of Liberty?
And you don't remember this?
Oh, I remembered when he told me.
Right. And then that was it. And then I didn't see her for a couple of
The
weeks.
impression, I think, at the moment was one of shock and one of, who's this guy? It was, oh, well.
Do you remember what Carol was wearing?
Not that day, but I remember when I formally met her.
Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Carol, how did you meet Bob? Let's tell your story.
How did I meet Bob?
What you remember?
I remember that I went to a dance.
Okay.
And we went, a group of girls, even a lot of my sorority sisters were there. And so then one of my sorority sisters comes over with Bob. And she said, Carol, she said, I want you to meet Bob, because he just came from Hudson County, which was
Yeah.
the same county that I lived in.
Okay.
And she said, but nobody here, they all danced like Philadelphia style.
Right.
That
We
was
were from North Jersey.
Okay.
Those were the days of Dick
Yeah.
Clark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like, he's looking for somebody to dance with that dances from, and she said, I know that you're from Hudson County. And she introduced me to Bob.
Okay. Go on, Bob.
Okay. They had the dances every Wednesday evening in the student union, which is the same building as our cafeteria. And I'm dancing with this one girl that I had met before, and we're stepping on each other's feet. She's doing the Philadelphia style and the fast dance, and I was doing a New York Lindy, and it just
Right.
didn't work.
Right.
So I says, isn't there anybody from North Jersey that knows how to dance? She says, yeah, let me bring you over to see my friend Spin. Her name was Spin Cola, and everybody called her Spin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so that they introduced us, and we started dancing. And she was wearing a camel skirt
He knows exactly how.
with a brown cardigan sweater on backwards,
Yeah. Buttoned in the back.
Okay.
buttoned in the back.
That was the style.
Yeah.
That was the style then. And we started dancing, and we've been together ever since.
All right. So did you guys live at home, or did you?
No, we
you
lived
you
at
both
college.
lived at the school.
We lived on the campus.
Okay, so you lived at the campus. Okay,
Yeah.
so you danced and did you talk at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
danced, you sat down, you talked,
Yeah.
you drank a little, and then you could dance some more.
Right. I think that was like
Okay.
on a Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, it
And
was
then
a
on a
Wednesday.
Saturday.
No, it was about a couple weeks later.
Yeah.
Oh, you waited a couple of weeks?
Well, I had seen her in between, but we didn't date at all.
Okay.
And then a couple weeks later, I had a friend coming down from Bayonne who was going to sleep over, and I fixed him up with a blind date.
Okay.
And it's Friday, he's coming down on Saturday, and I still didn't have a date. And I see her outside the cafeteria lunchtime,
Yeah.
and I went over and I said,
What?
my friend's coming down for the weekend, then I fixed him up with a blind date. How about we go out Saturday night? And she said, I got to think about it. And I said, well, don't think too long, because you're going to miss out on a good thing.
Did you expect him to get in touch with you?
I don't
Sooner?
know.
Okay.
You know, no, at that time, as 18, 19-year-old,
Okay.
your brain is all over the place.
Right.
I don't know if I was really looking for anything at that time. I mean, I had so many other things going
Right,
on.
right.
I was a health and phys ed major.
Okay.
And as a phys ed major, I was thrown into all the sports, like, were unbelievable, plus your academic
Right.
stuff.
Okay.
And it was like, I was just getting into it. It was,
And the phys ed majors, they had these crazy classes
Yeah.
that were a half credit, but they met for like 4 hours a week.
Oh.
And she would have a bunch of those in one semester.
Yeah.
So she had a lot of hours of classroom.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
And then she was busy.
wasn't
She
looking
was
for it.
involved.
It was-
She was involved in synchronized swimming,
Oh. Nice.
yeah, that was it.
and also she was busy with her sorority.
Okay.
So-
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, so then you went out on that date.
We went
and
out on that date.
You went out on that date, and then how soon after that did you get in touch?
I would like to say that as a footnote that the other couple,
Yeah.
they also got married
Yeah.
and lived and had happy marriage. Also,
Yeah. He was my
he was your best friend.
he was my closest
Yeah,
friend from high school and early college.
So you knew somebody to set him up with?
Yeah,
You were able to.
I met this girl down there, and she didn't want to date me.
Oh, okay.
So
Good job.
so I fixed her up with my friend Arthur,
Yeah.
and they wound up subsequently getting married.
So then you started seeing each
Then
other.
we started
Yeah.
seeing each
Okay.
other regularly, and
Okay.
we would meet in the cafeteria for breakfast and lunch, because I was one of those few people, and so was she,
Who ate breakfast?
that got up for breakfast.
I had to get up for breakfast.
We got up for breakfast, and so we started meeting 3 meals a day.
So did you finish school?
Yeah.
Did you get married before?
No.
Oh, no.
We
We we wanted to get married when we graduated, and my father suggested I wait a year
Okay.
after graduation,
Okay.
like get settled in my job and working. Everything sounded fine to me. I said, okay, why not? And that's what happened.
Yeah.
So we waited another year.
Okay.
And then, because
So you
he
had a-
lived in Bayonne, I was in Hoboken at the time. It was still pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we both worked at different schools at that time.
Okay.
And then when we got married, I switched over to his high school. and
Okay.
went
So
to
then
his
you were
school.
working at the same high school?
Yeah.
Then we worked at the same high school for 5-6 years, I guess.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
we graduated in '62
Okay.
and
married in '63.
got engaged that fall,
Okay.
and then got married in June of '63.
Got it.
And for that first year, I was teaching in North Bergen High School, and she was teaching in Bloomfield High School.
Okay.
And then when we got married, there were some openings at North Bergen.
Right, right.
So she came over
Yeah.
Right.
to North
Nice.
Bergen.
And how soon did your son, your first child,
Daughter.
your daughter?
Yeah.
How
Oh,
s-
that was
Oh, you
5.
have 2 daughters,
I have
right?
2
Two
daughters,
Two
yeah.
daughters.
That was 5 years after.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I taught for 5 years before I had my first one. And then I didn't teach, that's when I left. I left for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't go back until they were in middle school.
It's nice to be home with them.
Oh, I love being home with
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
I did too.
yeah.
I just got the warning that we have to wrap it up.
Oh, my.
But
Okay.
that went pretty quick, didn't
That
it?
was too fast.
But we got your story.
You didn't even
and-
get the good stuff, no.
And the pictures are great.
Oh, thank you.
We can't see them now. but
Yeah.
trust me, they'll be edited
Okay,
in. So
thank
that
you.
was great. I'm so glad that we were able to finally schedule you guys to come on. This was perfect. Thank
Thank you. Well,
Nice.
thank you for asking.
The Pickleball Club is holding its first annual fundraiser for charity for the firefighting community that unfailingly supports all of us. We've chosen the Orange County Fire Authority Firefighters Benevolent Association, which provides physical, financial, and emotional support to its members and their families during times of needs. If you didn't already know, occupational cancer is a leading cause of death among firefighters. As the chair of this event, I'm inviting you to join us at the carnival on June 8th and the tournament on June 9th. Please check our website for more information, www.lagunawoodspickleball.com, and thank you. If you'd like to come on to the show, email us at lwvcouples@gmail.com. Include your name, phone number, and email address, and brief description of your story.